Hello students, this is a special edition video having to do with your term paper. There have been some questions regarding this, so I thought I could anticipate as well as answer some of the questions that I've already received. If you go back to the class web page, you'll notice that if you scroll to the bottom, there are a couple of folders having to do with your term paper. The first one I want to underscore is the term paper resources. You have a couple of items here that are required for you to view. Uh, you'll notice that this says must view this item, writing a successful thesis statement, and term paper thesis form, and then the term paper thesis assignment. Now, most of you have already done this because you've turned in your thesis statement form, but if for whatever reason this got past you somehow, please go back and view these and study them, as well as many of these other very helpful items for you. This is the feedback form that I use when I grade the paper, as well as, of course, the rubric. The rubric is, of course, right here in a PDF format where you can look at it. In other words, you don't have to guess about the way that I'm going to grade and evaluate this paper. Everything is there for you. I've got a number of what will hopefully be helpful hints to you as well. Top 20 errors in undergraduate writing. The Purdue Online Writing Lab is one of the greatest resources online that's available to any college or university level student. It's from Purdue University, but they do allow other people to use it. If you haven't discovered EasyBib yet, I highly advise that you click on this link and visit the site. This is a way that you can put your information in on any source that you've quoted from in your paper, and you will be quoting from at least 3, if not more. But this automatically puts it in the correct format. When you put the necessary information in and you generate the citation, you can simply copy paste it right into your works cited page. Here's another one that is also recommended, but actually EasyBib I think is probably, as the name implies, the an easy way to do that. I've got a couple of other things here, including an MLA checklist that you can use to check your paper before you turn it in to make sure everything is there. In addition to that, going back to the class page, this is the resource that you will use to ultimately submit your paper. We'll look at that in just a second. Again, you've got your student learning outcomes that are involved in this particular assignment. You must view those. Avoiding plagiarism. I cannot emphasize enough how important this is. We've had so many students commit plagiarism, either intentionally or unintentionally, but either way, that's an automatic 0 on your paper. So if you have any questions about that, uh, regardless of whether you do or not actually, please read this source, and then you're required to take a plagiarism quiz. You must do all of this before you can even work on your term paper. You must score at least an 80 on the plagiarism quiz, but I do give you multiple times to take it. So I would actually recommend that you keep taking it until you get 100, but regardless, an 80 is what's required. And then the next thing in sequence is you must submit the first draft of your paper that you'll be writing in the Google Doc, and we'll look at that once again in just a second. This is due by Monday, October 8 at 8:30 p.m. Now, the Center for Student Success Lab opens at 8:30. If you've already been working on your paper, you should have plenty of time to go in there, meet with them, make whatever changes you want to make in that first draft, and then submit that to them. And then I will receive confirmation from the Center for Student Success that you did submit it. You won't have to submit a copy of it because actually you'll be working on the paper down here, and I'll be able to see that as you write it. And that's the next thing that we'll want to talk about as we conclude here. This is very important, and there's a number of students that for some reason have misunderstood this, but this is actually the template you'll be using to work on your paper. And this actually helps you because there's an MLA template here, as you're going to see, that's already in the right format, and this actually can save you a lot of time. So click on this, as you see me doing here, and you'll get something that looks like this. And I'm actually just able to see you work on your paper in progress, and then when you submit it, it will show up here for me. Now yours will not look this way. Yours will look like there'll simply be two tabs up here, but here's the main thing. You should already have a Google account. If you don't, make sure that you get one and set that up, and you'll click on this copy of the MLA template. And then when that comes up, you'll notice that here's the template for putting your last name and the page number on each page. And this will do it automatically when you select this and just simply replace it with your last name. And then up here, select this. That'll be your name. The next one, you'll select this and type in my name. You'll select this, put the course number, HUM space 231, or you can put Humanities 231. And then, of course, the date that you'll be submitting your paper. And then the title, and then subtitle, if you happen to have a subtitle in your paper. And then I've just got a lot of text here that has some helpful information, but bear in mind, what you're going to be doing is selecting this and replacing it with your own content that you'll be writing in your paper. Now, please do not copy paste in this document unless you're copy pasting quotations from other sources, and you should have quotations from other sources in order to reinforce your thesis statement. But you should be typing the actual content of the paper right here into the template. Please don't try to write it in a Microsoft Word document or something else and then try to take that and copy paste that into this. I really don't want to see that. That's not what I'm asking for in this assignment. I'm asking you for to actually type in the information as you go. So for instance, if you were typing in right here, the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. Now, that's not what you're going to be typing into your paper. I understand that, but I'm just showing you how that works. I'm going to undo it where I'll just do a series of undos, which is really nice to have in these word processing programs. And again, you'll be doing the entire paper this way. If you put in the necessary information, it'll automatically be formatted in the correct MLA format. Down here, there's an example of a table. You may or may not have a table in your paper. If you don't, then don't use it. But if you do have a table, this is a nice template that you can use. Again, you may not have any photos in your or graphics in your paper, but if you do, this is just kind of an example of what it might look like in the paper. I recommend that you don't use a lot of graphics in your paper because sometimes students just use that to fill out the paper so that they don't have to type as much content. Again, I've graded these papers for a long time. I know what that looks like. Please don't try to change the font or the font size in the paper. You'll notice that this is Times New Roman 12 point font size. Don't try to change that, please. And then finally, you'll come to your Works Cited page somewhere around page 6 or page 7. Again, the required length for the paper is at least 5 to 7 pages. So this is going to be anywhere from page 6 to page 8 in your paper. And again, this is a good example of what MLA format Works Cited looks like. But again, if you go to ezbib.com, it'll automatically format these correctly. And this is one place in your paper, your Works Cited page, where you can use you can copy paste. That's definitely permitted there. All right, well, that's all for now, and we will go ahead and leave it at that. And if you have questions, please message me. Remember that the paper is worth at least 35% of your grade. If you don't do well on the paper, it's very difficult to pass or do well in the course. So please take this assignment very seriously. This is meant to assess your ability to be able to write an acceptable college level paper, which is essential. I don't care what your major is, you'll be required to write many college level papers in the future as you continue on the college or university level. So we'll see you next time. Thank you very much.